Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back from the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into the treasure map for the 5+ Vega Punk against Luffy, Taro, and Zoro Judo for the 10.5 anniversary, utilizing the full batch team and my particular speed teams to take down the mini bosses. So in today's video, hopefully these teams will help you guys out with taking down the mini bosses very, very quickly. Obviously, this is like the starter treasure map. These will be subject to change as the treasure map goes on. People like to send me stuff, and I like to see some stuff, and I like to watch some stuff, and then I sort of get some other ideas. And look, just playing the content as well, like, gives you ideas of some characters that would work really, really well in that situation, just to make things a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, and stuff like that. Because obviously, the way that I design the teams on paper is a little bit different to how they actually function in practicality. So I'm going to go this way. I do want to pick up some cards, and I do want to take on Vega Punk. I've only versed Vega Punk once with the intrusion, so I haven't actually tested my particular team. So it looks a little bit like this. Remember, you don't need to use the Uta support if you do have the full batch. I'm utilizing the Uta support so that way I don't have to activate the EX of Kaido and King. But that's the team, those are the supports. Let's dive in. Now, the reason I don't want to do that is just to make it a little bit faster for this intrusion fights. Look, most of the time I'm probably just going to skip the intrusion fight and then just sort of like do it later on in the higher nabs. But like I said, utilizing Uta just means that Shanks is going to allow, like, he's just going to be able to use his special without needing the EX of Kaido and King. So on turn 2, we're actually going to start getting all the bad stuff. We get poisoned, normal attacks only, and then there's a pain debuff. So what we're going to do first is we are going to utilize the special of Roger Rayleigh Bomb. That's going to give us 3 turns of an attack boost for int and strength characters, but it's also going to remove the pain. The pain damage, you have like 296,000 HP here. You realistically don't even really need to like remove the pain. Like, it's not that big of a deal. We're then going to use the Shiryu and Blackbeard special. That's kind of really the only reason you actually want to remove the pain, is because you're utilizing Shiryu and Blackbeard. That's pretty much the only reason that I can really think of, if I'm being completely honest with you. What we're then going to do is we're going to switch with Kaido and King. We're actually going to utilize the Captain Shift mechanic. We're going to switch into Katakuri and Big Mom, and then we're going to utilize the special of our friend Captain, Kaido, and Alba, so that way we can actually get the end of turn damage. There's resilience on this stage. It's very annoying, so we're going to bypass that with one of our Kaido and Kings. Now, Kaido and King, they work exceptionally well because they're just so powerful, and you do kind of want to run 2 of them. As you can see, we're switching to Katakuri and Big Mom. Both of them are immune to blow away, which is really, really nice. So that way we don't have to worry about the blow away on the end of turn 2 there. And then once we move into the final stage, this is where we get Special Wonder on our top row, I believe, or on our sailors, and then we get Blinded on our top and bottom row. Now, as you can see, like, Alba is immune to that Special Bind, which works out really, really nicely there. So what we can do here is we can switch back into Kaido, go back into the captain spot there, use the Kaido special. Kaido's going to remove the bind on our units, and as you can see, Uta is actually going to remove the special bind. Now, you don't actually need to captain swap back. You can stay as what's it called, Big Mom as captain, and then use the EX of Kaido and King there just to remove the special binds. But I feel like just using Uta is just going to be a little bit faster. That way you get Shanks ready to go. Once you have Shanks ready to go, you can just use him once. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. See you later, Vega Punk. So that's going to be the Vega Punk fight. The team works just incredibly nicely. No issues there whatsoever. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Very, very smooth. Just something to note, though, is you do want to make sure you start as Katakuri in the left middle spot. And ideally, you want to start as, what's it called? Owl. Or who do you want to start? Do you want to start as Kaido? I don't think it really matters, to be honest. I think you want to start as Kaido. So that way you can switch into Alba with your friend Captain. So 59 point something points is pretty damn decent. We'll definitely take that. Let's move on to the mini-boss fights now. Alright, so the first mini-boss is against Yamato and Ace, and the team looks a little bit like this. I actually changed it from the Nami Karina build that I was going for with the no new batch teams. Basically, what I did here was I brought Carrot across because I could use Cat Viper over on the other team. That's the team. There are no sports, that's why I went in. I use Cat Viper on the other team, and I have Roger Rayleigh Gaban. So technically, I'm kind of using the Roger Rayleigh Gaban batch over there regardless. So I figured utilizing Carrot here was actually going to make things a little bit smoother. I brought Crocodile on the team just so we can do a little bit more damage with our cerebral characters later when we need an attack boost, when we need a chain boundary and stuff like that. But for now, we're not really going to need it all that much. We have Hiyori on this team, so we get a full bottle of Wano Orbs to start the quest, and then Carrot's going to help with bypass all the nasty effects on the final stage. There is defense up and there is attack down, which is a little bit annoying, but Nami Karina take care of that, especially being in the Karina form, so make sure you start as Karina. The only downside to this particular team is the remove sound effects. The remove sound effects is obviously going to annoy the shit out of a lot of people. But at the end of the day, it's really not that big of a deal, as when you are doing like the mini boss fights on the map, you can just literally tear through it. But you're going to have a lot of damage with Crocodile and his chain boundary when you start using that special. So like missing and hitting goods and grades and stuff, it's not going to be the end of the world. So that's the team. Should work quite nicely. I'm pretty sure Crocodile's a chain boundary. I don't think you need your captain to be cerebral, do you? Maybe you do. I don't really remember. Moving on to Kid Killer now. The only tweak I made to this particular team is I slapped on the Dogstorm support on our Carrot and Nami. Remember, Carrot, Nami, and then the free-to-play Sanji are literally replaceable with anyone else that is a Straw Hat. That's the team, those supports. Let's dive on in. As long as you have 3 Straw Hats on the team, you are going to be able to get the EX of Luffy. It's very important that you get the EX of Luffy, so that way you can bypass the damage nullification on the final stage. Luffy's great though, because he has the special reverse built into his kit as well, and then you can just use Brook to just double special and make your way to the final stage pretty easily. Brook isn't the fastest special, but like the fact that he is a Straw Hat does work out quite nicely as well. You could probably replace Sanji on this team as well if you want to with something like Zoro, the free-to-play Zoro, so that way you can use him for some wave-clearing shenaniganry, and that way you get an orb buff on this final stage, and then you can actually use Brook as an increased damage to taken dealer as well, so that's going to work nicely. Remember to use your EX a couple of times. I feel like I'm going to forget a little bit just before utilizing the EX there. Switch with Nami and Carrot. You don't even need to do that this early. Just utilizing their special gives you the chain boundary, and then having that Dogstorm support just means that some of your characters here are just going to hit a little bit harder. So as you can see, you bypass that damage nullification and tap with Luffy, and you're just pretty much fine. So that's the Gear 5 team. Like, it should work very, very nicely. Basically, just having him as captain takes care of literally everything you need to worry about on that final stage. The only thing that makes it a bit challenging is you need to slide on, obviously, the 3 Straw Hat characters, but obviously with the free-to-play characters, it does make it a little bit easier. Carrot Nami, probably a lot of people are going to look for replacements for, but like I said, just replace them with anyone, really. Anyone that's going to give you some sort of buff. That's pretty much the play there. Onto the Marco and Whitebeard fights. If you have Magellan's just going to make this really, really easy. You don't even really need the Shirahoshi on this team. I just like to have the Rainbow Orb, so I don't have to worry about the poison slots. That's the team. There are no supports. Let's dive on in. But if you use the super type of Magellan, you can actually get around the poison. I have Shiryu on this team to actually get around that, but as long as you bring anyone that sort of fits that, it's going to work quite nicely. Honestly, if you run Shirahoshi like I'm doing, you don't need to worry about the poison. It's going to be absolutely fine. So yes, if you just use Shirahoshi, she's going to give you those rainbow orbs, and it's just going to work out super hunky-dory there. But like I said, you can bypass it in other ways too. On the final stage, you are going to get those poison slots, which we avoid. There's paralysis, and then there's actually bind on your middle row. So if you just use one Magellan special here, for the early stages, you don't really need to remove all of the bind. I put the 2 characters in there that I don't really care about that much. So as you can see, you can just easily take it down. Magellan's going to give you an attack boost if you use the double special activation. Obviously, the super type's going to give you a little bit more damage there too. So yeah, that works out quite well for the rest of the team. So that's the Magellan team. If you're not utilizing him on the final stage, he's going to work exceptionally for that mini boss fight there. So very, very nice stuff. On to the final mini boss. We're coming up against Sanji and Pudding, and for this team I just completely changed the game. Like I said, I moved Carrot over to another team, and on this team I'm actually utilizing Cat Viper. Cat Viper can bypass all the defensive effects, and you can do some really cheeky shenanigans with the Izo Kiku special, extending all buffs and stuff like that. So that's the team. Those supports, no, there were no supports. Let's dive on in. Now for the wave clears on this team, I'm utilizing Vista. The 5,000 fixed damage Vista, he's going to take care of turn 1, and then Izo Kiku are going to take care of turn 2. I'm utilizing the special of Cat Viper on this turn 2, and as you can see, you can actually extend that orb buff for 3 turns, and then the clock buff clicks over for an attack buff. This is just going to help out with when you use the Roger Rayleigh Gaban special, and when you use the Sengoku Garb special, you don't have to worry about the chain lock proccing, so it just makes the special go a little bit faster, and then you don't have to worry about the attack boost proccing. However, Roger Rayleigh Gaban special literally takes 4 billion years, so it is a little bit annoying in that regard. Plus, there is normal attacks only, so you kind of funneled into just either using Roger Rayleigh Gaban or utilizing something like V1 Roger. It's a little bit frustrating, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. their special just literally it takes so long. It takes so long. You bypass the barrier, but you remove it with Roger Legabon. But you bypass the damage shock, you bypass the threshold, and it's all pretty hunky dory from there. So that was the team. Should work quite nicely. Honestly, you could throw on like a support as well, like a Zora support for some color affinity. Odin could work quite nicely on Roger Legabon, and that's going to work to get past some 1.5 times color affinity. Moving on to the final boss fight, we're coming up against Luffy, Taro, and Zoro Judo. Something that I do want to preface that I didn't state in my preparation video is that you want to make sure you start with your Captain Albers, and you want to make sure that you start as Katakuri to switch into Big Mom. That's the team that Yano supports. So let's dive on in. Obviously, we're using the full badge team, and then when we have the Kuzan there, he's going to help out quite a lot. Should be pretty hunky-dory for a very, very long time here. So on turn 1, we get a full board of Tandem Orbs thanks to Shanks, and then we can go Bink, Bink. Beautiful stuff from our Alba captains. Something that you can do that's really cheeky as well, you can use the burn to actually kill. So I'll show you guys how to do that as well. On stage 2, you get the special rest on your bottom row characters, and then you get the despair, which Alba can bypass. You get the attack down if you blow a 3 times chain and above a 3.6. So we're going to utilize the special of, what's his name? Kuzan here. And then we're going to use the special of the friend captain Kaido there, just to get a little bit extra damage here. You want to try and keep a Wano orb on one of your captains. Realistically, you're going to have one on Kaido because you switched. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter where, like, it doesn't matter as long as you have one on your captains. When you get to this final stage here, you're going to switch with Big Mom and Katakuri. They're then going to switch into your captains. You actually don't really need to do this, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because the burn literally just kills. You get the cooldown there from Big Mom, which works really, really nicely. We can use Shanks to get around the paralysis. You can slap on the Lime Juice support as well, so that way you actually don't need to use the double special, or something like the Van Ogre support on Shiryu and Blackbeard as well, so that's going to be quite nice. And then you can use the Big Mom special for an orb buff, and you can use the Kaido King special to get the tap timing bonus. But as you guys will see here, if you tap with a Wano orb with Kaido and King, it's going to apply an Ignite ability. That Ignite ability is actually more than enough damage to actually take down the Revive with the attack scaling. Later down the line, like if it doesn't work, later down the line, let me know in the comment section below. I'm not exactly the biggest math guy, but for now, it's just working really, really well. So that's going to wrap up the video. That is the full batch team taking on the treasure map for the 5+ Vega Punk. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to go down that belt like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Loads!